Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Special thank you to our sponsors, Brew Coffee and Tap House in Independence, Oregon on Main Street. For more information, call 503-837-0279. And Realistic Replicas by Brian. For more information, go to replicas.com. And finally, the AG Better Network and Christine Smith. For more information, go to agbetternetwork.com. Good morning, everybody. Woohoo! Number 150 today. Man, it is hard to believe, Scott. It's just time flies.
Yeah, I was just thinking March is a month of milestones, and my wife would love that because she, like you, really is into alliteration. So March is a month of milestones. Today, of course, 150 episodes of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. I was just reading an article published out on LinkedIn by our friend Chris Stone, and, they talk about pod fade, and most podcasts end by 6 episodes.
Wow.
And so we are here at 150. The other milestone we had was on Monday, and that was the Experience Local.
Yeah.
And that is episode 1. And Believers in Business, not only broadcast on the social channels, but also the audio is put out on KWIL 790 AM here in the Willamette Valley.
Right.
Thanks to our great friend and strong supporter, Scott Michaels, the station manager over there. Great to be working with him. And then, of course, next week we have our 2-year anniversary of our live Instagram show, the Backstage, the Experience Backstage with Shri, who has just been fabulous. And we learn from her every week. And at the end of this month, there's another huge milestone, number 400. Russ,
wow,
400 episodes.
400 episodes of Marketing with Russ. Hard to believe. All of this came about because of my good friend, Mr. D. Scott Smith, who not only encouraged me to go into my business, but also encouraged me to podcast, which became video podcast, which became live streaming. Mm-hmm. And way back in the day, I did hashtag Happy Moments with Mama podcast. Yep. That's how it all started with my mama. We did it from her memory care. And it was when we could still have a good conversation. What a blessing. What a blessing and what great memories that is. And it has come all the way through, became Marketing with Russ, became The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, became Russ Reels Live. So many things are going on. But I'm really excited about this month, not only for the 400, but Scott, you and I have been able to remain really consistent. We do this show only once a week, and that's why we're at 150. I do Marketing with Russ twice a week, so I've gone a little longer with that, but also getting double the episodes in. But all of this together gives us an opportunity to bless everybody watching, to let you see amazing friends of ours, amazing people that add value to your life. And we talk about the experience of life here. We're here at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every week, talking about the experience of life and our amazing guests. And we would love for you to continue to join us and be part of this community because we love what we do and we love the people we get to talk to. And we'd also love for you to join our YouTube page. And you can do that really simply by going to the experience.video. The experience.video is the place to go. And you can see all the amazing episodes we've had. You can binge the experience live with Russ and Scott. It'll be amazing. And so, yeah, we hope you'll become part of that today.
One of the exciting things about the experience is our remarkable guests. We do have, we say, the most remarkable people on the planet right here on our show.
That's right.
And the other thing that has been really important is our sponsors. We've had sponsors since the very beginning, thanks to Russ, who goes out there and says, hey, would you like to sponsor this? And people do. And if you want to learn more about that, make sure you connect with Russ on how you can get sponsorship for your show. But this month we have Brew Tap House, and that is right downstairs from me. I'm blessed to be able to walk there to Brew, and Kathy and Mitch, the owners, are fabulous people. I hope that we can get them onto the Experience Local. And then Realistic Replicas, and as Russ mentions in that, real is REEL. Some beautiful work, realisticreplicas.com. Make sure you go to the website, because he's taking metal, laser cut metal, and turning it into fish, and they are beautiful. When I was in college, I had a roommate who was a fish biologist, and he had a stuffed piranha on a stand, and it was nasty looking. These are beautiful. I think if you have a gift that you want for a friend, a parent, someone like that, then that's good. And then the last sponsor this month is Aging Better Network, and Christine Smith happens to be my wife, and I produce her show 9 a.m. over on LinkedIn or agingbetternetwork.com. But I will just say 150 episodes was made possible because of these sponsors.
Yeah, people don't realize all that goes into it. And, it is so fun. We love it, but it takes a lot of work and a lot of coordination. And I have an amazing assistant, or actually I call her my teammate and good friend, wife and mother and Christ follower and amazing person that I love, and that is Ever, who helps us do so many great things and is behind the stage making us look good. And so we could not do it without her, and that the resources take care of all these things. So thank you, everybody. And it's so much fun to have you here. I just want to get going here, because Scott, I'm so excited.
We've got the best guests in the world right here.
I know. Let's get this party rolling. What do you think?
All
right. Well, we're gonna start with Jeff, and Jeff is a remarkable guy. I mean, talk about remarkable, and such an upbeat guy. Blessed to know him for quite a while now. Mr. Jeff Custer's in the house. Woohoo!
Hey, good morning, guys, and congratulations on all the milestones, like 150 on this show, and so many other milestones you guys are hitting. It's so exciting to hear.
Yeah, it is very exciting, and we love just having. I mean, Jeff, you've been able to be on our show before, or at least one of my live streams, or two of them. I can't remember, because we've known each other for quite a while. But hey, why don't you tell, for those people that don't know you, who is Jeff and what are you up to?
Yeah, my name's Jeff Custer, as Russ said, and I run a company called Level Up. And with my partners, we work with businesses and individuals to work on developing great leaders. And Russ, I know you know this about me, but our tagline is ridding the world of toxic leaders. And huge task, but we just see so many. You guys probably read this every day in the news that people don't like their job, and usually it's because of bad leadership. And our mission is to really get rid of that.
Right.
I love that, because they say people don't quit a job, they quit their boss, their leader, their manager. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they don't quit the job, they quit people, and that is for sure. And Jeff, I know that I have just talked to people this week that are dealing with toxic leaders. I think a lot of times, we people deal with insecurity and just trouble working with people. And some people just should not be in leadership positions, and they are, or they should get a lot of training. How do you overcome the challenges of those toxic environments?
Where I really like to start is is something we call making the leap to leader. And like you just said, Russ, there are so many people that are in leadership roles that just have not been prepared to step into that role. And I really like to start there. The mental leap that you have to make from being an individual contributor to being a leader can be so huge. And I like to say it this way, the people that get promoted, because they were the star player. And what happens is they get into a leadership role. They find out the things that made him successful as a star player don't make him a star leader, but nobody tells them. Right. And it gets around their mental framework of what work is. Like one of the things I've found interesting over my life is I work with new leaders, and a lot of times you find them in their office and they'll say, I don't feel like I work anymore, because work is different than it was before. And it's hard for them to make that leap at times. What they focus their time on changes, and the activities they do changes, but nobody tells them and shows them, here's what it needs to be. That really, Russ, is where I like to start.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's so important to start at the beginning, right, Scott?
Yeah, I've spent most of my career as a people manager. And I remember, Jeff, I remember talking about this with the other managers, was if you're an engineer, if you're a designer, right, if you're running a punch machine, there's something very definable about what you do, right? You can measure that. But as a manager, as a leader, it's really hard to find those things that you quantify to say, am I better today than I was yesterday, than last week, and so forth?
Exactly. Like Scott, one of the things I use as an example when I'm talking about this with people is, if you're that individual contributor, that engineer, that designer, you come to work in the morning and kind of you can picture the stack of paper on the left side of your desk, and you work all day. And at the end of the day, the stack's on the right side, you're done, you brush your hands off, you go home.
Right.
And when you're a leader, the challenge is not only is there really not a stack, you have to come up with a stack for others. And that concept, that shift in mentality, is a huge leap for people. And I think a lot of people just struggle because nobody tells them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's it. I think sometimes people assume that people should know, and we know what happens when you assume, and it is just and there's just really people that are not cut out to be leaders. But speaking of people that are cut out for amazing things in leadership, we're going to bring Ari in the room next, because we got to get this show rolling with all of us in here. Good morning, Ari.
Good morning, and congrats as well on the 150.
Thank you so much. You are from one of my favorite parts of the world. And I guess it was into my adult life. I wasn't sure that I was ever going to make it to New York. And now I've been blessed being in New York probably 6 or 7 times. And been started with the part of the Brooklyn Tabernacle Music Conference that I took a group to. So right in your neighborhood. And what a blessing. And that whole neighborhood and the whole area between Brooklyn and Manhattan, all that was so great to visit. So anyway, I digress. Ari, so give everybody a little snapshot. Who is Ari and what are you up to?
I'm Ari from Brooklyn, born and bred. I've been pretty much my background is project management, operations, managerial kind of positions, but the common denominator I always like to say is pulling the puzzle together, whether it was, leading by example, using my resources. It's kind of, it's what catapulted into where I am now, which is, I started while at my 9-to-5 around 2 years ago, building a fractional project management firm. And I saw a need where, you have many agencies doing, ongoing marketing or projects, but there's many times the business needs a one-off and like a priority project that needs to get done, but they don't have the bandwidth to deal with it. So I would come and take that on. But in the process, I built a network with, I'm active on LinkedIn, I go to events, but it's not the same as building your own network. And I took it offline. I did it on WhatsApp. We now max out a group of over 1,000 people. We're building a platform. It's built all around referrals, which was what it started for. And it just morphed into something so much bigger than I thought possible. Last night, we actually just had our first, I've done previously, but this was like the first launch of a new style of events that I haven't seen done, at least not in local areas, of what we call intentional networking. And we teamed up with some other people in the business. The idea was to make structure in a way where you're not just coming in a room, or you're not just in a network where you're just roaming around, but really design it that it's every aspect from the seating to the networking is intentional, and to facilitate a lot more business with the mindset of giving.
So I love that, Ari. I love intentional networking and connecting. Building community intentionally is so important. And of course, I talk about it. You and I have had this discussion. I'm all about that. There's one networking group that I have been part of online a little bit. And Scott's also been part of them locally here in our area, because I like what they do intentionally. They do it online and in person, and they give you specific one-on-one time with people. So the way this is designed is all to come together and then break it out. Within an hour, I can meet 6 new people and have an actual discussion with them. And it's really a great and very productive use of your time, meeting new people and finding out where you can go from there, because then you can know whether you're going to extend that conversation, right, Scott? Or whether you're going to just call it, we're good with one.
Yeah. So Ari, I'm interested in this community. You mentioned WhatsApp, and some people are familiar with that. Some people are not. Maybe you can explain that a little bit. And then about what this next step is that you guys are pursuing.
Sure. So WhatsApp in my circles is, in the Jewish Orthodox world, it's, a lot of people are not on so many platforms. They're on LinkedIn, some are on social, but everybody's on WhatsApp for the most part. And there's even like advertising, a whole department for that, of category of advertising on WhatsApp status. But I didn't have a real, not that I didn't believe it can go there, but I didn't know where it would go. And 1,000 is just the tip of the iceberg. But I've set up partnerships, referrals, just countless phone calls trying to help people, from people looking to job to, highly successful people making connections with them. Recently, people with, real estate investment deals that I know nothing about are like approaching me if I can make, any connections with maybe I know somebody, right? Because they're like, 1,000 people, you must know somebody. I partnered up recently with someone, and he told me, he was asked this question, how do you have a guy? He's a partner in multiple businesses, and I asked him, how do you have a guy for everyone, for everything? And he's like, well, by us, we have on the Sabbath, we go to synagogue, we turn off our phones for 25 hours. So he's like, imagine every week you're in a ongoing 25-hour networking session between your family, you're in synagogue, you're bound to get, countless, it doesn't matter if you're the biggest CEO, the guy, almost homeless, but you're in the same room with, countless, just in your own synagogue. If you travel, you're meeting tons of people. So, but in terms of the group, so it started again, just as to help people in a referral kind of way. This kind of my nature. I like to give, I like to, I'm constantly, if I see a job, if I see something, that even if it maybe at times when I was looking for a job, but it didn't suit me, right away I think, okay, who do I know that it might suit? And this started like that. And I said, at the same time, I'll build my network, but it morphed into something so much bigger, because we all know chats can, become very chatty. So we wanted to keep the value there. So I don't police it, but I moderate it. There's no promotional stuff. It's just straight up, hey, I need this. People jump in to help each other. It's really amazing. We had over $1 million in revenue just confirmed that went through people on the group, not to me, throughout, just people, hey, I needed this, I need that, and context and resources. And I saw that I can build out, 10 groups like many people do, but, it's going to be a lot of moderating to do and adding and whatnot. Or we can build a platform that is not just, that could integrate with WhatsApp, that could accomplish so much more, not to replace it, because I'm not looking to compete with the big tech or whatnot, but for what we have, and being like a one-stop shop for businesses. So resources, business in a box, both from when I was doing the project management, from like a strategy kind of, like a blueprint kind of side, providing businesses with the blueprint, and also services that every business needs. It might be a CRM, it might be other software or non-software related stuff. even like insurance or whatnot. So we're putting that together. The platform's close to launching, and we'll see where that goes. There's going to be obviously different aspects to it, events like I did. We had our event last night, but that's in a nutshell. That's what it is.
Yeah, no, I know what I love about that, Ari, is you are been creative and created something unique. And it doesn't matter, it shows, it doesn't matter what business you're in and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. It's important to connect, build community and network and get people out there. And Jeff, I think that, you obviously have been so good at that as well. And, when you bring people together, amazing things are possible no matter what you're trying to accomplish, especially with leadership. I think Jeff froze for a moment. He's there, but not there. Well, we'll wait.
Doing that chameleon thing. There he is. Back.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Russ, you broke up on me. I didn't hear your question.
Oh, that's all right. No. And you froze on us. So it was good. We were all in a waiting period, but we were just wondering, when it comes to connection and building community and networking, when you're talking leadership and those kind of things, that is so important. That is vital for a leader, right?
Yeah, Ari, I really appreciate what you just said in something I think that gets overlooked in leadership quite a bit. It is, you can't know everything. You can't get everything done by yourself, and your network is just critical. And I like to talk with leaders about what is their network across the organization, maybe peers that they have in an organization, but also if they have aspirations to move up in an organization, Russ, who do they need to know? Who can help them get things done? And building those relationships really gets critical for being successful at getting things done as a leader.
Yeah, no, for sure. Scott, and Ari, go ahead. You take that.
No, it got me thinking, I didn't always have this, and I'm still not a guy who runs to the mic. Like somebody commented last night, or they put a LinkedIn post saying, it's the first event they went to that they saw the host literally connecting people live at the event. I said, that was the goal of the event. Not only that, one of the co-organizers matched all of us up. We had table networking and we had individual micro networking, 3 sets of that. And he literally made sure that I wasn't overseeing the event. No, I was at that time a micro networking. There was nothing really to oversee. Only one guy was needed to just make, okay, we're switching, to next session. Me and the other hosts were just as much equal on the floor, micro networking and seeing how we can help others. And that's the way I look at, when it comes to whether the consulting side of things or the network as a whole is, I didn't always have this kind of confidence or think that, hey, who can I help or whatnot. And, people didn't always take me as serious. That's why my, initial LLC was Dark Horse, because I've always felt like that dark horse. But I realized that, if you, in a sense, the saying, you fake it till you make it, but really just, if you're genuine, people are going to start at some point just taking you seriously. They're going to see that you're there to help. You're not always just there to sell them. And that's how, I did it at all my jobs. I do it now. That's, how I operate.
Yeah, that's so great. Scott?
I was just thinking about I love that you're talking about giving, right? And people are good at what they do, and they should be confident in what they do, but not arrogant, right? And the difference between confidence and arrogance is that both people can get the job done, but confident people give and arrogant people take. So I love that you're focusing on giving, and that does build confidence, and that's a great outcome just in itself.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Ari.
No, I was saying 100%. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, I think one of the things that a lot of times leaders struggle with, especially in a toxic environment, is really bringing people together, because they want to actually separate people sometimes and segment people. And that division causes issues. When we all work to come together, it's so much more productive, right?
Yeah, I think interesting, Russ. I like using this kind of illustration like we're in a boat together, and you can just picture this. People are in this boat, and we want to all be rowing in the same direction. We've got this common purpose, but so often what you see is people rowing in different directions, or people not rowing, or what I say, like, worst of all, you get somebody drilling a hole in the bottom of the boat. And that really is, I think, a key role of the leader is how do you get all those people going in the same direction together?
Yeah,
absolutely. That was years ago when I was in college, and you're studying business, and we talked about management, and management was pretty well defined: plan, organize, lead, control. And you find that in any one business 101 textbook. But leadership, it was much harder to define. We tend to teach leadership based on looking at great leaders, right? And you're saying, great, but I'm not Gandhi. I'm not Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm not Norman Schwarzkopf, right? So what do I actually do? And I broke it down into 4 steps. And the first one is communicate vision. And then there's build trust, and that's trust between the people that you're leading, right? That they trust that each one of them is going to do their job. And then inspire greatness, get people to do things, to test, to try things that they didn't think they can do, and they'll surprise themselves. And then the final step was to move other people to action, to actually not be doing it yourself, but let people do what they do. Yeah. But that first step is really communicating vision, reaching out in the future and going, this is what it's going to, if we do all this, if we pull the oars in the same direction, this is where we're going to go. And so I know, yeah, it's hard, and and I'm straining and I'm pulling, but I'm doing it because I trust that my partners are doing this, and we're going to end together crossing that finish line.
Yeah. No, I completely, Scott's always full of so much wisdom, and that's why we have him here. And I just want to tell you both, man, you both are so amazing in all the things you're doing. I appreciate you, Jeff and Ari. We both do. And I want to give you both a final opportunity to just kind of wrap things up. Give us your gold nugget you want everybody to remember from today. And then let us know, how do we get in touch with you? Because I tell you, I definitely want to reach out, and I'm sure people will want to do that as well. So let's give that information as well. And we'll start with you, Ari. Go ahead.
Sure. First of all, thanks for having me and both of us here. So I would kind of, I guess, put it in 2 in 1, really. It's a mix of, giving, that giving mindset. Obviously, we all have to make a living, but, what goes around comes around. The keynote last night was all about, like, this guy's a guy who's doesn't even tell in an initial call or conversation what he does people. That's just the way he is. He's constantly gets thousands of DMs or messages, and I can't say get thousands, but I definitely get dozens, and on and off the network or the group or LinkedIn, and it's just always, how can I help someone? And there's a way I can. If not, who can I connect them with? And there were times that I felt like, this is not, what I was trying to do wasn't maybe going in the direction I wanted, but I always had that mindset, put myself aside. It's going to get there. I got to figure that out, but it doesn't mean I have to stop giving. And at some point, that's what actually led to where I am now.
Yeah, that's so great. And so how do people get in touch with you?
LinkedIn. I'm like, I don't know if you'd say good, for better or worse, I'm like OCD with my messaging. So I might not get to it that minute, but I try to, unless it looks like spam, I try to get to it pretty quickly.
Awesome. Well, that just magically appeared below you, and also will be ticking here as soon as I click the ticker again below us as well. And so there we go. And so anybody who wants to get a hold of Ari or Jeff, it is clickable. So do not forget, it's easy to get to them. Jeff, you're up next.
Yeah, Russ, I want to finish just adding one more thing to Scott's points about 4 points about leadership. Okay. And last year, I had the opportunity to do a leadership workshop in Jamaica. Had a blast going to Jamaica, working with the folks there. And one of the things I finished our workshop with is I asked them, what's the most important role for you as a leader? And they were kind of puzzled and couldn't come up really with the answer. I said, let me tell you. I said, your most important role as a leader is to replace yourself. So when you walk out the door the last time, you can look back and say, I was successful. I left a legacy because I replaced myself with great people. And it was just fun to share that with them, because there were some people there. It's like, I never thought of it that way. And I really think that's kind of where I finish with what we work on is I want leaders to think about their legacy, maybe, Scott, before they even take the job. What do you want it to look like when you walk out the door? So, Russ, people can get a hold of me like Ari, they can get a hold of me on LinkedIn. They can also reach me at through our website at levelupcourses.co is a good place. You can leave me a message there. But also, I'm on LinkedIn probably too much. So,
well, and there it is, magically below you. So everybody, and his LinkedIn is clicking along the bottom. And both of you, we both appreciate you so much, and thank you for adding so much value. Like Scott says, I learn so much every week when we come together, and it's just amazing to have you both here. We're going to stay in touch. I appreciate you both. And Ari, you have been, it's just been amazing to get to know you. And because of our great friend Yermi, who connected us, it's been so great to just, meet up with so many amazing people in Brooklyn. So anyway, guys, thanks so much. We're going to say goodbye for today, but hang tight in the green room. We're going to wrap things up and we'll be right there.
Thank you.
All right.
Always a blessing to spend time with you. I'm glad that we have a new show because it gives me more time with you. And
yes.
Thank you for 150 episodes, and thank you to Ever.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't say that enough. So thank you to, our community here. Community coming together. We talk so much about networking and, leadership and coming together. And, I just want to do a shout out for some people that I have been working with. Lonnie Ray is one who's in the comments, and CJ and Suzanne and some people, and Tim Sohn that I've been doing collaborative books with. And it just goes to show what amazing things you can accomplish when you come together. And it is things that maybe you never had the talents, abilities, or to be able to do on your own, and yet coming together, you're able to do that. And if you need good production and systems people, not only is Scott available, Ari's available. If you need good leadership people, if you're working in a toxic environment, you got Jeff to go to. There's so many things that come together because of the experience of life here at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every week. You can keep joining us, and we would love for you to do that. I want to remind you, you can also be part of our YouTube page by going to the experience.video. That's a big deal, everybody. We would love for you to join because we're really trying to build community there, and it gives you the opportunity to get one-stop shop for all the videos. It makes it so much easier. It's hard to track them down sometimes on social media, but it's easy on YouTube to go to one spot and find them all. So please join our YouTube community today and be here with us next week at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for more amazing guests. And before that, we are going to be celebrating 2 years on the experience backstage with our good friend Shree. It's going to be awesome, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a month of milestones again. But thank you to everybody for your support, for the encouragement. Love the comments. Love the interaction that you have with each other in the comments. Thank you for greeting each other. That's just, it does my heart good.
Yeah, it does. It makes us so happy. We just want to. So there we go. We got to end with Kermie there. But don't forget, also next Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Experience Local. It is our intent to encourage you, no matter where you are, to engage and connect and really network with your local community, supporting local. Think locally, act globally. We can all be together all over the world, but don't forget your local network. So until next week, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, have an amazing week. We'll talk to you soon and enjoy
the experience.
Woohoo! See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.